Hi everyone, my name is Eileen Fisher and this is my presentation on learning theories in the school library. There are several learning theories that apply to my way of learning and teaching. They include multiple intelligences, constructivist theory, and experiential learning. This presentation will touch on the key elements of each and how they apply to learning in the school library. For starters, multiple intelligences is a theory founded by Howard Gardner. He believes that there are many ways to learn and that everyone learns differently. Gardner says that because some people are good at thinking spatially, some people are good at thinking in language, other people are very logical, other people need to do hands-on, that an education which treats everybody the same way is actually the most unfair education. Therefore, assessments and projects should reflect the acknowledgement of various types of intelligences and learning styles. In the library, this is essential because the librarian sees all students in the building and must make the library a safe place for all students to feel comfortable and acknowledged. There's a famous quote by Albert Einstein that says, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid." This is the same idea as what multiple intelligences is discussing, that you have to have various types of assessments to acknowledge various types of learning and abilities. Then we have the constructivist theory, which was founded by Jerome Bruner, and it's a theory of learning that discusses the importance of connecting the learning to the learners. Bruner states that learners will more likely retain the information if the teacher makes a connection with what the learners already know and what is important to them. He also states that there is a three-stage process in which learners learn best and that learning is constructive, which we'll discuss momentarily. The constructivist theory also includes the idea of spiraling previous learning into the current learning so that students better retain the information and can apply it in multiple settings. Bruner also coined the term scaffolding, which is something that teachers are highly familiar with. The three stages of the constructivist theory include the enactive representation, or real-world application, in which learners learn best when they start with abstract objects and hands-on action. The second stage, called iconic representation, is when the learners then move into learning with images that is related to what they learned in stage 1. And then lastly, stage 3 is called symbolic representation, or language-based. And this is where students transform what they've learned into actual language. So they should be able to discuss or even teach what they've learned after going through all three stages. And in the library, the constructivist theory of learning is important because a librarian will see all students every year. So incorporating learning that students did in previous school years will help them to better retain the information and help with their recall processes. This can be done over the course of one school year or over several school years in the library. Bringing back information and referring to lessons taught previously will also help students understand that it's important to retain the information and not simply retain it until test day. Lastly, we have the experiential theory, which was founded by Carl Rogers, and it's essential to learning as it focuses on the learners themselves. Similar to the constructivist theory, Rogers believes that the subject should be important to the learner in order for them to retain the information and be able to actually apply it again later. He also believes that learning to learn is just as important as the learning itself. Often as teachers, we forget that sometimes students need to be taught how to be students. We expect our students to just know what we expect from them and what their roles are in the classroom. However, directly teaching students our expectations and essential executive functioning skills will help them understand how to be a teacher, how to be a student in each teacher's classroom. Also, the experiential theory suggests that self-initiated learning is the most lasting and pervasive. I feel that this is why when we allow students to choose their topics or choose their projects, they often put forth much more effort than when we assign them a topic or project about which they do not care very much about. This is also true if you think about college students. College students pick majors that will help them earn a career in something they're interested in. Students in middle and high school say that if they were allowed to take classes that are focusing on things that they're interested in, that they would earn better grades because they're learning about things they care about. Another feature that Rogers mentions is that the learning environment should be a positive environment, as students are more likely to learn faster when the threat to the self is low. When students feel comfortable and they understand the purpose of the learning, they are more likely to participate in the lesson and remember the information being taught. This is always an essential part of a school library where we see all students and all different types of learning and intelligences. Thank you so very much for your time. If you have any questions, please send me an email at afisher182@scu.edu. I'll be happy to answer your questions.